Another entity that we're watching along the southeast coast. Well, thanks to our virtual view technology, I'm actually standing in the middle of Railroad Park in Birmingham, where downpours could force indoor activities today instead of outdoors. So yeah, if you are planning on attending the end of summer picnic at the park, just beware there will be some wet conditions, heavy downpours at times, not just today, but lasting throughout the weekend and even into early Monday. We still have a chance of some wet weather here in the middle of Alabama. By the way, Birmingham only picked up about 1/4 of an inch of rain yesterday, so we kind of missed the axis of the heavy rain, but today it's right over us, as you can see, kind of straddling the I-65 corridor all the way up into the northern parts of the state as well. And this time yesterday we were actually tracking severe storms around Auburn, Alabama, so it's still possible we can get a strong wind gust. You could lose your power if that happens, but especially where you see the heavier downpours, sometimes you get those gusty winds that go along with that heavy rain. Noontime today, you look out the window, it's still pouring. I know if you had a garage sale going on this weekend, a festival to head to, we do have the wet weather kind of persisting all day today, and even into early Sunday morning we see the heavier rain kind of pivoting back into the western part of the state, back towards Tuscaloosa. Still, isolated showers cannot be ruled out Sunday night into Monday. Here's your rainfall amounts. Again, Reynolds showed you the models kind of differing a little bit, but overall our forecast is calling for a good 2 to 3, but some yellow areas indicating where we could do even better than that. Here's a look at Mississippi, where you do have some isolated showers going on, the heavy stuff back into Alabama, but guess what? We see that heavy rain pivoting back into our states. So between Tupelo and Starkville, we see that heavy rain making a comeback for your dinner plans tonight and continuing even into Sunday morning. If you're heading out to church services or brunch, you will have to bring the umbrellas with you, because the rain will be coming down in buckets. We could see anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain in a place like Starkville. Memphis, we had record rain on Thursday, over 4 inches. That was when the remnants of Francine were coming through. But remember, the overall low pressure is still in our vicinity. So we still have these showers kind of moving from east to west, and therefore the ability to give us even more rain today, Reynolds, anywhere from 1/4 to an inch of rain.
My goodness.
Yeah. That the Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on, but even if it doesn't get a name, we still have the impacts in terms of surf conditions. The surf will be up. You've got the rip current risk running high, especially along the coast of North Carolina, the Outer Banks, right on down to South Carolina, Georgia, and even Florida. But even where you see the yellow, moderate rip current risk can still be very dangerous, and not as many lifeguards attending the beaches this time of year now that Labor Day weekend is behind us. High pressure to the north of us, giving you guys in the Northeast a fabulous weekend, both today and tomorrow. Clockwise flow around that high, along with the coastal low. That's going to funnel in that east wind off the water, and that means the ability to get either beach erosion, coastal flooding, especially at times of high tide, but also an overall blustery picture setting up for us as we go throughout the day today and into tomorrow. Notice around Beaufort, North Carolina, 25-mile-per-hour winds. Myrtle Beach, it's going to be gusting as high as 30 miles an hour. Now we're into Monday. You can see that darker shade of red starting to move a little bit more onshore, so certainly some higher sea action. And then, of course, you've got the stronger waves making their way up toward the north as we head towards Tuesday night. So again, we also have king tides going on right now, so that will exacerbate that water rise at the coastline, that saltwater rise above normally dry ground. Seasonal high tide cycle for many locations, typically occurring anywhere from 6 to 8 times a year. So again, when you're looking at a place like Charleston or even the Outer Banks, you have to consider that the water will be a little bit higher than normal, courtesy of this low pressure that's sitting out here. So Charleston, our high tide tomorrow morning at 5:48, and again in the evening tomorrow night at 6:31. And notice around that time there will be that pretty strong northeasterly wind happening. And farther up the coast here in Duck, North Carolina, high tide for us around 5:24 tomorrow morning, and then again in the evening at about 5:53. And for us, it will also be a very strong onshore wind. Reynolds, leftovers. Then we have Gordon, which is swimming out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not expected to affect us. The good news there. And then could we have Helene? H would be the next name on the list. 50% chance, the Hurricane Center says, it could become our next depression or storm in the next 7 days right here along the coast of the Carolinas. So we do have a chance. We've got a frontal boundary kind of draped with this area of low pressure, but if it gets away from that front and could attain tropical characteristics, warm to the core, we could certainly see a depression or a storm happening. Right now, though, even though we don't have a name yet, we still have the showers going on right along the South Carolina, North Carolina state line. So So again, there will be some periodic rain that's heavy at times. You can see it played out here as we go Monday into Tuesday. The yellow, the orange, and this is also about the time, says the Euro, that we could indeed have our next tropical system moving northward inland through North Carolina, Virginia as we head towards Wednesday, and then the rain moves all the way up into mid-Atlantic and even portions of the Northeast. The American model a bit more bullish with this system and a different placement of the low as well, kind of coming in a little bit more toward the south. You can see the lines of equal pressure pretty close together, indicating that windy system moving inland Monday into Tuesday and then kind of raining itself out over the Appalachians of West Virginia, and still some periodic showers kind of hanging along the coastline. So that rain is going to add up between today, tomorrow, all the way through Wednesday. European model says a lot of it's going to come in North Carolina, a lot of yellow, even some orange. That's 5 to 8 inches. The American model has it a little bit different place down towards South Carolina, right around Myrtle Beach, where we could see 5 to 8 inches of rain. The high pressure to the north and that coastal low to the south. In between the two, we've got that tight pressure difference here, the gradient, and that will initiate those winds and bring them onshore, 20, 30, even up to 40-mile-per-hour winds. So that, along with the rain, is going to make beach conditions pretty rough this weekend, Reynolds, and even going into the weekend is going to be a blustery time here along the coast.